For decades, Ron Howard seemed untouched by the darkness that often shadows a life spent in the spotlight. Behind the steady voice and that famous, gentle smile, he carried battles he never allowed the world to see. But the silence has finally broken. Only recently, the man America knows as Opie and Richie Cunningham revealed a truth far heavier than anyone expected, a narrative of painful memories, crushing regrets, and a family crisis that has shaken him more deeply than any Hollywood failure. Welcome to Prestige Buzz. Today, we are peeling back the curtain on the untold weight Ron Howard has carried for 70 years. If you appreciate deep dives into the lives of Hollywood legends, make sure to subscribe to Prestige Buzz, hit that like button, and turn on the bell notification so you never miss a breaking update. Ronald William Howard's life began under the glare of cameras on March 1, 1954. Before he could even understand the concept of fame, his parents, Rance Howard and Jean Spiegel, brought him into a world where script pages sat beside dinner plates. By the time most toddlers were learning to speak, Ron was already a working professional, appearing in Frontier Woman at just 18 months old. Everything changed on October 3, 1960, with the premiere of The Andy Griffith Show. At 6 years old, Ron became Opie Taylor, the nation's symbol of childhood innocence. But for Ron, it was a golden cage. While other kids played outside, he was sequestered in a tiny room near Stage 40 at Desilu Studios, finishing schoolwork between takes. His father, Rance, fought hard to protect him, insisting Ron never act cute, only honest. While this advice shaped Ron's artistic integrity, it couldn't shield him from the emotional cost of being everyone's child but never truly his own. Decades later, Ron admits those years left wounds that never fully healed, anxiety that followed him into adulthood and eventually shook the very foundation of his family life. As Ron entered his teens, the world saw only a soaring success story. They didn't see the boy who, at age 8, whispered in a panic to Shirley Jones on the set of The Music Man, "I can't do it, Shirley," terrified of a dance routine. By 1974, at age 19, he became the face of a generation as Richie Cunningham on Happy Days. Adored by millions, Ron felt trapped. By 1977, he was 23 years old, playing a perpetual teenager while the real world was changing. Vietnam dominated the headlines, yet ABC rejected his requests to give Richie a storyline that acknowledged the war. He felt invisible inside the character, desperate to break out of a forced adolescence. This suffocation pushed him toward a life-changing realization: if he wanted to reclaim his identity, he had to step behind the camera. Directing wasn't just a dream, it was an escape. In 1977, Ron struck a deal with Roger Corman, star in Eat My Dust, and he could direct his own film. That project, Grand Theft Auto, gave Ron his first taste of true creative control. But that control turned into an obsession. By the early 1990s, the pressure to deliver perfection was immense. During the filming of Apollo 13 in 1995, Ron pushed himself beyond human limits. Determined to honor the astronauts, he worked 18-hour days for 90 straight days. He refused to cut corners, filming hundreds of sequences in NASA's Vomit Comet. Then, one morning, his body gave out. Ron collapsed on set from severe dehydration, hypertension, and complete burnout. While the crew rallied behind him, Ron realized he had become a perfectionist capable of destroying himself, and he began to see what that obsession was taking from the people he loved most. Nothing weighs heavier on Ron than the events of 1991. While filming far and away in Ireland for 6 months, he left his wife, Cheryl, to raise their newborn twins and young daughter, Bryce, alone. When he finally returned, the damage was devastating. His daughter Jocelyn didn't recognize him. Bryce barely reacted. In 2025, Ron admitted this moment broke something inside him. He realized that no hit film was worth stealing the years he owed to his family. Yet, the cycle repeated in 2005 during Cinderella Man. Standing at his 50th wedding anniversary in 2025, Ron made a heartbreaking admission: he would give back every award and every accolade if it meant reclaiming the weeks and months he lost with his children. The hardest part of Ron's story is the one battle he cannot direct or fix: the health of his younger brother, Clint Howard. To the public, Clint is the quirky character actor from Star Trek and Apollo 13. To Ron, Clint is the only person who truly knows what it was like to grow up inside the Hollywood machine. The brothers have always been unbreakable. Ron even saved Clint's life in 1990, delivering a get sober or lose me ultimatum that led Clint to rehab. But today, Ron faces a fear he cannot outrun. Clint has been struggling with a debilitating and life-altering health condition. For a man used to rewriting endings, Ron finds himself helpless. He cannot yell cut on his brother's illness. He recently confessed that he is terrified not of critics or failure, but of losing the one person who has walked beside him through every chapter of his life. At 71 years old, with a $200 million legacy, Ron Howard is finally learning that the greatest achievements mean little if the people you love are slipping away. He has stepped back from massive productions and turned down travel-heavy projects to prioritize time at home. In his most emotional admission yet, Ron shared that he spent a lifetime telling the world's stories, but along the way, he stopped telling his own. The man who narrated our lives is finally finding his own voice, even if it is through the lens of heartbreak. What part of Ron Howard's journey surprised you the most? Is it his hidden battle with burnout, his regrets as a father, or his deep bond with Clint? Let us know in the comments below. For more updates on the stories that shaped Hollywood, stay tuned to Prestige Buzz. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe with notifications turned on. We'll see you in the next one.